The Hofstra Pride and Coach Mo Cassara are still looking to celebrate a huge victory on the season. Today might be their biggest test as they welcome in one of the nation's best college basketball stories into the MAC. The Hofstra Pride looking to shoot down the Iona Gales here today in Hempstead on Verizon Fios One Sports. The scene continues to build here at the MAC Sports Complex. We're on the campus of Hofstra University in Hempstead, New York, as Verizon Fios One Sports brings you Hofstra Pride basketball. Today, the Pride facing a daunting challenge at 5-7. They welcome in the 10-2 Iona Gales. Hi everybody, welcome here again to the MAC. Alongside Scott Green, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk, and a Happy New Year to you all. The Iona Gales have become a national story, pegged as maybe the metro area's best team through the first half of the season, and an undermanned Hofstra team has a big challenge ahead of them tonight.
Oh, yeah, Iona College is playing for March right now. They have an outstanding ball club, and they're taking on a Hofstra team who's really facing adversity with injuries on a daily basis, and if Hofstra wants a chance tonight, they're going to have to really find an answer for this tough Iona ball club.
For Iona, 10-2, including some wins over BCS level competition, several road wins as well. They come in winners of 3 in a row, and they have one of the nation's best offenses, led by one of the nation's best triggermen in senior point guard Scott Machado.
Scott Machado does one thing, and that's dish the rock. He's leading the country in assists at 10.5 assists per game, and he could also score, averaging 14 points per contest, and he is the spark plug that makes this Iona ball club go.
Machado, originally from nearby Queens and out of St. Mary's High School years ago. Meanwhile, for the Hofstra Pride, once again, they're going to dress just 7 scholarship players for Mo Cassara, and that means their 5th-year senior guard and leading scorer Mike Moore is going to have to shoulder the load maybe more than ever tonight.
And Mike Moore, he's done a great job for this Hofstra ball club, knocking down 3-point shots, his ability to slash and get to the basket, but now he needs to make other players better on the floor, averaging 21 points per game. He's going to need a huge night for this Hofstra Pride program.
Hofstra getting a chance to take on one of the metro area's best. Iona coming into the MAC on Verizon Fios One Sports. It's an anticipated game here at Hofstra. Iona at 10-2 visiting the Pride at the MAC Sports Complex. With Eva Zachariah and Scott Green, I'm Ralph Bednarczyk. First, we get you set with our starters. For the Gales, Machado running the point with Momo Jones, Sean Armand, Taj Ridley, Mike Glover. For the Pride, Dwan McMillan, joined by Mike Moore, Nathaniel Lester, David Imes, and Stephen Wakoni, the sophomore, receiving his 2nd straight start. The coaches, there's a pair of Hofstra graduates there, including on the right, Tim Lewis in his 2nd year, played for Hofstra in 82-83. And a native here of Long Island and West Hempstead originally. His top assistant, Jared Grasso, also a former Hofstra assistant. And Mo Cassara in his 2nd year coaching the Pride at the MAC. We get ready for this one by first introducing Eva Zachariah today on the sideline.
Hey guys, before tonight's game, Mo Cassara's message to his Hofstra team was going to be that this is the point in the season where if things aren't going quite the way you would want them to, as they haven't for Hofstra with the injuries, the transfers, and red shirts sitting out, that this is the time when you can turn it around. And you bet your bottom dollar that he also reminded his team about their 87-62 loss at the hands of these Iona Gales last year, guys.
Okay, Eva, and certainly for Mo Cassara, you love to play a team like Iona with a full roster. You won't have that luxury tonight as we look at our Verizon 4-on-1 keys to the game.
And if you're Iona College, you want to locate number 23 on the floor at all times, Mike Moore, and you want to set this tempo early. Hofstra has to limit the turnovers against Iona's pressure, and you got to be able to handle it.
The Iona Gales will be in the maroon on maroon unis, Hofstra white on white. These two teams know each other really well because, of course, it's all started here in the 5 boroughs of New York City, 9 of the 10 between the two sides, at least in the starting lineups from the boroughs. The only one is Hofstra's Mike Moore, who is from Connecticut. The Gales 5th in the country in scoring. Glover and Walcone on the tap, with Brian Dorsey, our referee, John Hughes, and Donnie Epley, and we're underway. A great atmosphere here in a game with a lot of anticipation right around the new year to check out this Iona team. Momo Jones, first year in Iona, transfer from Arizona. A big reason why the Gales have been a sensation this season is Taj Ridley's shot won't go, and Stephen Walcone rebounds.
And they're getting off to a nice start on the offensive end, and Hofstra getting a stop early, looking to try to capitalize.
These two teams meeting last year in New Rochelle with Iona against a 21-win Hofstra team, winning that game when Machado and Glover were juniors and Jones was not on the team. And this is a much more high-powered Iona team this season. Dwan McMillan. Mike Moore left open, not there on the three, and Glover rebounds.
And that's the shot that Hofstra wants, a wide open look from Mike Moore.
Momo Jones, quick trigger, and David Imes secures. And here is McMillan pushing up ahead, Lester, and it's knocked out of his hands by Momo Jones. Jones was acquired from Arizona, expected to sit out the year, but he was able to receive an NCAA waiver. His grandmother has been ill, and it came as a shock to some people. Iona was already going to have a great season to boot, but then when he was given the waiver not to sit out the season, he has taken the Gales even to the next level and receiving a lot of the national attention in part because of that. David Imes starts the scoring with the jumper.
And David Imes has been real quiet up until late, and now him to get involved in the offense, a great time.
Sean Armand had the skip pass go out of bounds, and Hofstra will get it back.
And Hofstra needs to take advantage of all these turnovers that Iona commits and really try to build some points on the board.
The Gales this season have played even some smaller lineups, as now we get the foul here. Armand bumping Dwan McMillan. And the first team foul, as you see Tim Kloos, who spent a lot of time here on campus at Hofstra from a former school, St. Agnes in Rockville Center, which does not exist anymore. The family from West Hempstead. Moore facing a zone look inside Lester, that'll count, and one.
And that's a great sign for Hofstra when you can get Lester involved on Glover one-on-one and showing he's not afraid to back down. And a great pass inside. Mike Moore making everybody else better on the floor.
Lester to the free throw line. He had a nice game, 10 points, 9 rebounds in Hofstra's most recent game before the Christmas break, a victory over Colgate. And Lester, the fifth-year senior, won't get the free throw to go down. But it's Hofstra with a 4-0 start, just getting going here at the MAC. First time in 3 years these two teams meeting here at Hofstra, as Imes comes up with a block on Taj Ridley. And Dwan McMillan the other way. McMillan, Imes on the pump fake to the rim, and an offensive foul as he tried to dish off. Taj Ridley drawing the charge.
And David Imes got to recognize where he is on the floor. When he gets inside the paint, he needs to take that little pull-up jump shot and not try to force it for an extra 2 feet closer.
Iona's going to go a little smaller, bringing Randy DeZouvre, a 6'5" senior from Montreal, to go with more of a 4-guard alignment. It's a team that expects to score 85 a game, and there's Mike Glover for the first of potentially many dunks.
And they've been doing that all season long. Machado and Glover have really developed that two-man game, and that's a timing pattern to throw the alley-oop.
McMillan on the hesitation dribble. And now McMillan will pull it back. The Gales averaging 86 points a game. Imes given the room and will sink another jumper.
And you know, when you're Tim Kloos and you're putting the scout column together, trying to figure who you're going to stop, you put out Mike Moore and Nathaniel Lester, and then David Imes becomes the one to step up early on.
Imes with a couple of buckets here. DeZouvre underneath, and Lester stepping in front of Glover. But then Jones stepping in front of McMillan to create the turnover, the Pride's second.
And here's what made Glover so good. He goes up strong with the timing pattern and throws it down.
Mike Glover's field goal percentage among the tops in the nation, 68%. That's because he'll put down many dunks over the course of a game. And now we get an offensive foul here. That's Scott Machado trying to draw, or rather set a screen for Glover.
He set the screen and moved in with him, and that's a big foul early on. And you look at players like Machado, he's a big player that you can ill afford to lose throughout the course of a game.
13th foul early against Iona. And the pass through the hands of Lester, and then we'll get a Hofstra foul, so the Pride sloppy with the basketball against a team of the caliber of the Gales, something you can't afford to do.
And we said that they cannot turn the ball over and give Iona opportunities. What happens is you give them extra possessions.
Machado again, the lob to Glover.
And these two really have this down pat. They know how to play that little alley-oop game, and you got to locate Glover and put a body on him before he gets to the basket.
And that's why Machado, 10.5 assists per game, has become an NBA prospect. McMillan to the rim, Lester in the air. Off the pump fake, and then the finish.
And Lester really needs to come up big today. He has to be the other force on the block, on the rebounding end, and give them second opportunities.
Wakoni with the foul as Hofstra has come out and looked to pressure in a 1-2-2.
And you talk about thunderous dunks, and that is with authority.
In the NCAA, and as I said, with the 68%, a lot of that with those dunks are all high percentage.
Oh, I'll tell you, shooting anywhere in the 60s, and look at the people above them. It's 76, 73, 70. That's insane shooting.
Third Hofstra team foul. Moore starting out on Momo Jones. And a premier matchup, former high school teammates, and Machado missing the lay-in. Glover on the follow, blocked away. Ridley just lost the handle. And quickly McMillan races ahead. Into Jones, blocked by Machado. And now the Gales, who love to run, with Jones stopping and popping. Wakoni rebounding the miss.
And we have some street ball at its best, and Machado really showing he could do more than just dish and score. He could defend and has athleticism.
Lester open look. Imes second effort. Wakoni blocked away and then recovered by Wakoni.
This Iona ball club down low, they are so athletic and they know how to block shots, and that just changes the way offense shoots.
They're going to get Imes for an offensive foul. That'll be number 2.
And the athleticism of Iona, Machado flying through the sky for the block.
Hofstra with the early lead here at home against Iona. 4.5 gone here first half with Eva Zachariah and Scott Green, Ralph Bjornchik. Let's show you how the two teams stack up, particularly the high-flying Gales.
You look at their record, it speaks for themselves, and they put up a lot of points, among the tops in the country, and they give up a lot, but 51%, when you're making more than half your shots over the course of a game, you're going to win a lot of ball games.
And for Tim Plouffe, their schedule very unique this season because they have played a ton of road games. They are in the midst of 8 consecutive games, Scott, away from home, and yet they're 6-1 during this stretch.
Well, you know, when you can play like Iona does and you're as athletic as Iona is, it doesn't make a difference what crowd you're playing in front of, but you're preparing for that max schedule.
And they played neutral floor games, losing by 1 point to Purdue. Maryland, a blowout victory as we see the early shooting numbers. St. Joe's, an A-10 program, is Iona turning it over here against some Hofstra pressure. That's their 4th.
And Hofstra's doing a great job defensively, really trying to take Iona out of their offense, guarding up heavy on the guards and taking away their vision.
McMillan, Mike Moore, transition 3, rolled off. Fight for the rebound, it'll come down to Sean Armand. It is Jones dashing through.
And Jones really runs the floor extremely well, like back in his days at Arizona when he used to get up and down the floor.
Momo Jones, originally from Harlem, but he has had a nomadic career at the high school and college levels, has landed here at Iona for this season. Nathaniel Lester shooting a tough shot, not there. He'll stay with the Pride. And they'll bring in Shemai McClendon for the first time.
Iona's doing a great job on Mike Moore, and even when Mike Moore gets his shot off twice, it rimmed around the rim. That means he's not getting a full extension on his follow-through. That's because of the defensive closeout. And there, he closed out, and he did a great job knocking it down.
That is a 3 for Moore. Armand saving it, and it comes to McClendon. Bounce pass ahead. Here's Kone. Oh, and he was looking for the highlights. And the moment just overwhelmed him.
Kone came down, didn't realize where he was on the floor, and he realized he was a little too far from the basket, but he tried to regroup but couldn't finish. And a great play, great bounce pass, and he didn't get a chance to look up to see how close he was to the basket.
Great hustle, Shemai McClendon, to set it up. And a freshman, Musa Kone, playing in a game with a lot of eyeballs and attention. He is another New York City kid. Machado from the elbow gets it to go.
And Hofstra's 2-3 zone, really guarding the wings exceptionally well and fronting Glover down on the post. But what that leaves open is the middle of the free throw line, and that's where they exploited. And Machado got his way inside to the middle of the free throw line, and that's where the open jump shot is.
We just had a technical foul assessed against, or I should say it's against Hofstra for a delay of game. Could be against Iona, I thought, maybe for the kick ball following the basket. And it is on Iona for Iona delaying the game. Kyle Smythe is coming for the first time for Iona. Excellent shooter who has missed the last 2 games with a shoulder injury. He defends McClendon right now. Big step into the lane, and we'll get an Iona foul as McClendon, the sophomore from Vero Beach, Florida, on the drive.
And McClendon doing a great job splitting the defense. Iona playing a little bit of a matchup zone, trying to locate Mike Moore wherever he goes. And you notice Mike Moore gets bumped on every cut, and they want to make sure, Tim Kluse wants to make sure that they know there's a maroon jersey in the neighborhood.
Shemai McClendon coming off of a career best performance, 17 points. And the victory over Colgate on December 22nd. Seeing a lot of minutes here in this undermanned Hofstra team with just 7 scholarship players. He's benefiting, averaging about 25 minutes a night. 1 of 2. And Machado quickly ahead. Able to find Ridley inside. Trying to reverse. And Glover to reset. Open look at a 3. Momo Jones. In and out, Smythe fight for the rebound, and it's Lester. That will squeeze it ahead of Digi Moikobu, a junior from Seattle that came in for the first time.
And I will tell you, Nathaniel Lester has come to play tonight. He elevates himself the higher the game goes, and this is his time this evening.
5th Iona foul. McMillan facing heavy pressure. McClendon. And Smythe able to read the play beautifully. And here comes Glover with a big step out of power.
And you get Glover out in the open floor, and he's jawing a little bit with Mike Moore. And you can see Iona's trying to pick themselves up now.
And Iona foul in the front court.
And you know, you can't throw weak passes like that against a team like Iona. But Michael Glover in the open floor at his size.
There's his 3rd dunk. He's got 6 points to lead all scorers. Lester trapped. McClendon off the hesitation, a little short. And the rebound for the Gales, however, they turn it over. McMillan with a brand new shot clock.
And Iona's trapping on every area, and they got to recognize the trap and be able to throw over the trap because somebody on the floor is open.
McMillan to reorganize. 12 and a half to go in an entertaining first half. Moore on Machado to the step back, a little short.
And Iona's doing a great job at making Mike Moore change his shot and not allow him to go up strong.
Kyle Smythe back into the Iona lineup. They've missed his outside shooting. That's a 3.
And Kyle Smythe, he's a preseason MAC 3rd team. He really knows how to shoot the rock.
McClendon missed a 3, and Iona running again. Smythe, this time from the corner. Foot was on the line. Iona with their first lead tonight. McClendon had to put up a wild shot and somehow went in.
And this game is really being played at a very high speed. And my concern is, can Hofstra sustain the speed level of this game being light manpower?
Hofstra's lead is 1. Shemaine McClendon off the bench. So far, several highlights early on Verizon Fios One Sports. Several people with great basketball IQ and history showing interest in this game, including Long Islander Wally Zerbiak, now working for the CBS Sports Network as an analyst, former great NBA player for a long time, originally from Cold Spring Harbor High School. Checking this one out, and the Gales as a possible NCAA tournament Cinderella team.
Oh yeah, they really are. And Wally Zerbiak gets a chance, played nearby in Cold Spring Harbor, and I remember him back in high school, and he was able to fill the basket.
After breaking pressure, McMillan had to change his shot. Machado leaving it, Glover taking off and finishes.
Boy, I'll tell you, these two, you can tell these two have been playing a while together. He knew where Machado was. Machado saw Glover trailing the play.
Iona back in front. Lester, Wakoni going up, and another Iona foul. That's 17 fouls here against the Gales, so something Hofstra could try to benefit from.
And transition basketball at its best. Machado with a no-look dish to the side and a beautiful trail for Glover.
Stephen Wakoni, his second career start for the sophomore from Brooklyn, 68%. And a tremendously hard-working young man that the coaching staff, Mo Casarin, Steve DeMeo, Wayne Morgan, Patrick Sellers, identified late in the spring period 2 years ago from Queens, actually. And a gym rat that makes both free throws. Machado, he can also shoot from out there. That's a three.
And when Machado could shoot the three, he stretches the defense, which creates a lot of space inside the paint.
He's at 43% from three, and another Iona foul. That is going to be number 2 on Machado. And at 1-1, we check in again with Eva.
Guys, Mo Casarin has been pleased at what he's seen out of his team so far. In the last time out, he told the guys, if we just move the ball the right way, we can get any shot that we want. He feels like his team is doing what it needs to do.
Shemaine McClendon makes the front end of a 1-1. The foul was not on Machado. That was on Smythe, who picks up his second.
And Mo Casarin, it was exactly right. They need to reverse the basketball a little bit more, but they need to handle the pressure in the backcourt and not come across frazzled. They got to get to the basket, because when they get to the basket and draw fouls, it takes away the speed of Iona in transition.
And Hofstra picking up a careless offensive foul over the back on the missed free throw. And the Pride here at the line have missed 3 free throws so far. 4 of 7, trailing by 1. Machado and McMillan. On the kick out, intercepted by Mike Moore. Racing ahead to the basket and a big block. Follow Lester puts it in.
And great follow-up, and Iona gets back in transition, but a terrific follow.
6 points for Nathaniel Lester. For Iona, this is Jernell Jenkins in for the first time. Momo Jones, not there on the 3, and the rebound handled by Wakoni. McMillan halfway through this first half. Lester on the drive, and another Iona foul.
And he's really doing a great job, Nathaniel Lester, getting to the basket, trying to make something happen on every possession, and they're getting great looks. And he gets them, and he beats them, gets a good step on him, and takes him to the basket.
Already the 9th team foul. That is the second on Rashad James, a junior from White Plains, who just came on. And Iona continues the merry-go-round of subs. They're a deep team this year compared to last year's great squad. Junior Taj Ridley back in. Iona last year fell in the MAC championship game. It was an upset to St. Peter's as McClendon looking for the rebound. It's tipped and saved in right to Lester though. He pulls up, can't hit. And Ridley, skies in the air for the miss. Up ahead, Jones. On the kick out. Pulling up on the long two, in and out. Machado setting up Jernell Jenkins. And Hofstra again pushing. McMillan spins and scores.
Oh, I bet those two have done it a long time. When you got Machado and McMillan going after each other, they know each other very well.
Ridley gets an easy one. Machado and McMillan spent a season together at St. Benedict's. After transferring high schools later on, Machado originally played for his current college coach, Tim Cluse, as a freshman at St. Mary's in nearby Manhasset. He's played in this gym before. McMillan won't go. It's going back to Iona.
And I like the way this game has been played. And you talk about great moves, and McMillan comes down. He recognized and does a little split the defense to the basket.
Hofstra brings back David Imes into the game, also making his first appearance. Walk-on Matt Grogan will get a chance here. Again, Hofstra dressing just 9 players, 2 of them walk-ons. And Grogan, who is in his 3rd year in the program, has been asked several times to step up and